Hello, my name is Catherine Abbott, and in this video I'll be discussing portrayals of Venus in Renaissance art. First, I'll begin with a brief overview of the history of Venus as a mythological figure. Then, we'll be taking a look at two iconic pieces, The Birth of Venus and Sleeping Venus. Venus dates back to ancient Italy, where she was a goddess associated with gardens and cultivated fields. There's little evidence to suggest that she was worshipped by Romans at this point. Her association with Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, came later, though the exact reason is unknown. Venus adopted both her mythology and her status as a significant goddess, and she eventually garnered her own cult of worshippers. Her association with feminine beauty allowed her to become a popular subject of art. Now we will begin taking a closer look at two specific paintings of Venus, starting with Sandro Botticelli's Birth of Venus. The Birth of Venus is a tempera painting created between 1482 and 1485. With an instantly recognizable composition, it's one of the most well-known artworks from the Italian Renaissance. This Venus looks ethereal, impossibly beautiful, with Botticelli's understanding of classical anatomy on full display. Even her flowing hair almost looks golden. She stands upon a shell at the center of the piece, making her the clear focal point. The pair holding one another on the left are Zephyr the west wind and Chloris the nymph, while the Hora of springtime waits for Venus on the right with a floral cloak. Movement right from the winds blowing Venus to shore is balanced by the leftward gesture of the Hora of springtime dressing her with a cloak, and the viewer's eye is continuously led back to Venus at the middle of the composition. She herself twists in a contrapposto stance. Her weight is on her left leg while she turns her upper torso to gaze to her right. She demurely shields her naked body in a pose known as Venus Pudica, meaning modest Venus, which is derived from classical statues. Now, let's look at Sleeping Venus by Giorgione, which was painted in oil between 1508 and 1510. Though most often attributed to Giorgione, it's thought that Titian likely completed the landscape after Giorgione's death in 1510. This piece depicts a woman reclining on a pillow outdoors. The artist used predominantly curved lines and organic shapes, and a high level of naturalism can be observed throughout the landscape in the background and in the pose of the figure, who appears comfortable and serene. However, despite the painting's title, the identity of the woman is unclear. It is theorized that, rather than being a portrayal of Venus herself, she is simply a representation of ideal female beauty. Paintings like this revolutionized the female nude as a genre in Renaissance Italy, a genre that had its roots in Italian marriage customs. Naked women, especially Venus, were a popular subject for paintings on the lids of cassoni, or large wedding chests, filled with the bride's clothing and linens. Such pieces as Sleeping Venus helped popularize nudes as a subject for freestanding paintings. If we were to compare the two, Botticelli's Venus appears more divine and has a clear mythological narrative. In contrast, Giorgione's Venus displays a greater sense of naturalism. The relaxing woman and the landscape she exists in feel grounded in reality, albeit an idealized version created to please the viewer's eye. In examining Birth of Venus and Sleeping Venus, we can see how the figure of Venus was used to represent different ideas, from her origins as an ancient Italian goddess of fields and gardens to the highly worshipped Roman goddess of love and beauty. Giorgione's Sleeping Venus may not have been a portrayal of the goddess at all. Rather, it helps to demonstrate that her strong association with femininity and female beauty made her a go-to representation of idealized beautiful women in art. As the female nude established itself as an artistic genre, Venus came to be frequently used to refer to the women in these pieces. The legacy of these two paintings, along with similar works, reaches far beyond the Renaissance, serving as inspiration for artist depictions of women for hundreds and hundreds of years. Birth of Venus in particular continues to be referenced in art to this day to discuss gender and societal issues. That concludes my art history final video project. Thank you so much for listening.